There's a way to rank in Google without doing 90% of what you hear online. You don't have to do 50-page technical audits. You don't have to do daily blog writing. You don't have to do these expensive PR campaigns. You just have to do two things properly. And when you do that, you can get results like this, where we're increasing clicks, increasing the revenue of your e-commerce store. And this is happening in real time. I wanted to show you what those two things are because I'm feeling lazy today. I'm going to show you the laziest way that you can rank first in Google. So as I said, this is happening in real time. You can see this store, we've had 77% increase in clicks, this one 18%, this one 31%. And I can tell you now that all three of these stores have increased their revenue as a result. And it's all from kind of doing these two things at the base of our SEO strategy. So the problem that I see with most SEO advice is that a lot of it that is being told it's not going to move the needle. It's not going to actually increase your revenue. There's all these fancy metrics, this fancy jargon that has been spread online about fixing technical errors, doing all this blog writing, structuring your website like this, and blah, blah, blah. But personally, I just don't think a lot of it is really relevant. So what actually works, the two things you need to focus on is keyword research done properly and then collection page optimization. In e-commerce, that is where you're going to make the most. That's where you're going to make majority of your revenue. And so it's the main thing that we focus on. And I say it's the lazy thing because in theory, it's pretty straightforward what you need to do. So I want to show you what my process is and how we get these results for all these different brands. So why these are the two things that you need at all. The concept behind this is pretty straightforward. As I said, you're trying to find every keyword that your potential buyers are searching for and then create a page that matches that keyword. And because every page that you have is another entry point into your website, every entry point is another chance to capture a buyer at the exact moment that they're looking to purchase. Because when we do keyword research properly, which I'll talk about in a second, you find keywords that people are ready to buy. And that's why we create pages based on that. And then more high quality pages is going to win every time. And so a brand with 30 collection pages targeting the right keywords will outperform a brand with one collection page, no matter how well that one page is optimized, because you have more entry points. You're going to get more keywords that you're ranking for, more people onto your website, therefore more money from SEO. So step one, you have to find keywords that your customers are already searching for. This is the basis of any good SEO strategy. This is what we do at the very start. We need to make sure that we find all these different keywords. So the sweet spot that I look for is anywhere from legit 10 to 2,000 searches a month. You can go as low as 10, depending on your products, depending on your niche, because like 10 people a month doesn't seem like a lot. But if you have lots of products, you can multiply that by, hundreds of different products and the traffic will add up fast. And so I find that those keywords, they're generally a lot easier as well. The keyword difficulty is under 30, whether or not you believe in that metric or not, gives you a guide as to how well you're going to show up in the search results for, or if it's even possible for you to do that. And so the reason I do that instead of high volume keywords is because high volume keywords are dominated by brands with years of authority and they've got much bigger budgets than you. They're much bigger brands. So targeting them when you're starting out means you're going to be waiting months or potentially years to rank for these keywords. And we all know you want wins now. You don't want them eventually. So there's not much point. I guess we're going to incorporate that into your SEO strategy. But focusing on that at the start is just setting you up for failure because you're not going to rank for those keywords as fast as these ones in the 10 to 2,000 range. And then the main thing is buying intent. And so you're looking for keywords with real buying intent that your site can realistically rank for. And so transactional and commercial intent keywords are the ones that are going to convert into revenue. And so the way that you can find these keywords is if you have a paid tool like Ahrefs, that's what I use, then type your product category or your product specifically into Ahrefs, look at the related keywords, matching terms, the question tabs, and then pull out every keyword with transactional or commercial intent and a difficulty under 30, ideally, that makes sense with your products. Obviously, if you're not selling those products, then there's not much point doing it, but make sure that you find those keywords that make sense. And then another way to do this is check what your competitors are ranking for. So pull a few competitors into Ahrefs again and look at the top organic keywords that they're showing up for. Do you sell the same products as them? Do you have the same categories? And if they're showing up for all these other keywords and you're not, then that gives you a great standpoint for where you should start building different pages and looking for keywords. And then also, again, filter by difficulty and volume. Difficulty under 30, again, is just easier for smaller stores. And then volume between anywhere 10 to 2,000 searches a month is where I find there's a lot of those keywords that have high transactional intent and you can actually rank for them relatively quickly in the grand scheme of things. And so you've done that, you found these keywords, but the next thing you need to do before you actually build anything, before you actually apply it to your site, is you need to check the search intent behind those keywords. And the easiest way to check the search intent for a keyword is to just Google it, Google the keyword and see what's already ranking. So if the transactional intent or commercial intent is there, you're going to see collection pages and product pages showing up. But if it's not, you might see blog posts or articles or news articles, and then that shows you that it's not a keyword that you should be focusing on to build your revenue. Maybe you just focus on that later with your blog content or whatever it may be. But focusing on search intent is so important. You need to make sure customers are searching this keyword in Google, first of all, and then when they're searching it, they're looking to buy. Therefore, you're going to show up with your collection pages, which is what we want to do next. We want to actually map all these keywords to your collection pages. So filter down your keyword list to only the keywords that match, as I said, the volume and the intent. And then those are the keywords that you're going to build pages for. So if you have pages already that match them, then you're going to update the content. If you don't have pages for them, you're going to create the content. But then create this map. You have the keyword, you have the intent right here, and then you have the assigned URL that you've got. And so if you've got informational keywords, then just park them for later or just don't use them at all, potentially. And then with these ones, keep everything clean. Make sure that you know what you're doing, where you're putting those keywords on your page, on your site, which pages are targeting that specific keyword. And then that way, that spreadsheet becomes your roadmap for your whole SEO strategy, basically moving forward. So if you want this done for you without having to spend, weeks or months even trying to figure this out for yourself, click the link down below. You can book a call with me or you can work with me and I can do this for you, make it much easier on your behalf. Then we move into step 3, which is actually building collection pages that give Google context. So once you know what the keywords that you're going to target, the next stage is to build the pages so then you can actually get them ranking. And a lot of stores that I see, they have a heading, they have 80 products in a product grid, and then have nothing else on their collection pages. And so Google is not going to rank that page because it doesn't understand what is on it. They're not going to know just from products and just from heading. And so there's no reason that Google should rank that page because it's not given enough context. So when you actually apply the principles I'm about to talk about, then you get results like this down here. So this brand only had 4 collection pages when we started, and we added only 15 because they had a pretty small product range. We've done this with other brands where we added like 120 collections within the first 30 days. And when we did that, they went from $16,000 to $25,000 in monthly organic revenue just from this work alone. You can see here pages containing collections. So these are all the collection pages. Had an 88% increase in clicks in the last, 8 months, 6 months? I forget where that image is from. But this actually works. And so the thing that you need on every collection page is these things right here. So you need to make sure you have your target keyword in the H1. I've talked about this heaps before, so I've got other videos on this specifically if you want to have a deeper dive into it. You need your intro paragraph above the product grid. You need a content block below your product grid as well, so you can incorporate more keywords and you can internally link to your collections as well. You want to have optimized meta title and description, which is going to help your click-through rate. And then you also want to make sure that your URL slug has a nice, clean, target keyword in there as well. And make sure it's not too messy. If you can set that from day one, that's going to make things so much easier. So these are the core elements that you need on every collection page. It's not necessarily a checklist, but you just make sure that once you've got your keyword, you apply these principles there and make sure it's all implemented. And then you're going to have a better chance of ranking. And then step 4, you want to add a content block below your product grid in Shopify. Most Shopify themes don't actually have a built-in way to do this. And so you need to create a custom liquid and meta field to do this. So the exact process is you go to content, then you go meta objects and manage, and then collections. And then from there, you add a new definition. So name it something like collection page, long description, or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. That name is just what you're going to reference it. And you want to make sure that you set the type to rich text. And rich text allows you to put proper structuring in this content. So it allows you to put H2s and 3s and dot points and all these other things. So make sure you have it as rich text. Then what that's going to do is put it in your Shopify backend. So on every collection page, you can implement content into that meta field. And then you actually need to put it on the page itself. And so you want to add a custom liquid section. So if you go to your online store and then your themes and then customize, find your collection page template. And then below the product grid, you want to add a custom liquid. And then from there, you want to paste in the liquid code to pull in your metadata. Just ask ChatGPT or Claude, whatever AI you do, to do that and just verify that it's actually working. It's just a small snippet of code that basically pulls in that text. And so once you've done that, this is going to be on every single collection page on your site. And so you can make sure that you put all this extra content in there. Gives you so much better chance of ranking and showing up. So again, if that sounds like a lot and you don't want to do it, just click the first link down below and you can book a call with me and we can talk about how I could go about doing this for your store and growing your revenue instead. And that takes us into step 5, which is doing this across your entire store. So once you have the structure down for one collection page, then that becomes repetitive and you can do that on every single collection page on your store. So take your keyword, apply it to your collection page, write the content. If you have a bigger product range, this is going to be so beneficial for you because you can make more and more collections. You just have more entry points. And then also just go at your own pace. And so, if you're working with someone like me, we get this done as quickly as we can. But if you're just doing this yourself, just chip away at it. And the longer that you do this and the longer that you kind of wait and you build up this content, the better your rankings are going to be. So I say this is the laziest way to rank first. And that's because you don't have to have any kind of daily content schedule. You don't have any complicated technical work that you need to do. And then these pages just compound over time. And as you build these pages out, the longer that you let them sit there and you build some data, maybe you tweak a few things on the page, then the more results you're going to get and the more revenue your store is going to make from SEO. So most brands that are stuck on page 2 are doing everything except for these 4 important things here. And so what they are doing is they're running technical audits, writing blogs that don't convert, chasing keywords they can't rank for, investing in expensive PR campaigns and getting no return, and also having just random daily content schedules. But if you want to rank position 1 in Google, you just need to do keyword research properly, build a collection page with proper structure and have that consistent structure across all of them. Then let the pages compound over time, and then to make sure that you're just targeting keywords with high buy-in intent and a keyword difficulty of ideally under 30. You do that, you repeat that, you're definitely going to see more results with your SEO. And so again, the complete system, find keywords that your buyers are actually searching for, confirm the search intent matches a collection page, build collection pages with the right structure, and then scale this across your entire store. And if you don't want to do that and you want to grow your e-commerce store, then click the first link down below. You can book a call with me and we can have a chat about SEO for your e-commerce brand. Hopefully you learned something from this, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.